blockchain, 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 yeah. With three, yeah. Blockchain, 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 yeah. With three.
What it do, baby? It's your boy Blockhead bringing you the absolute best in DeFi. I'm not going to say this twice, but this is not financial advice. Look, this is crypto. It could all go to zero. We're lucky this even works. The point of the show is for you to make your own decisions and for you to do your own research with the information that's given. We are not professionals, though today's guests, they got a little bit more skill than your average Joe. But hey, this is to show the people what it takes to win from every perspective. I mean, every week we have phenomenal guests come on, give their point of view on things, and it really helps. It really helps the trajectory of the show. But without further ado, today I'm going to introduce you guys to two Chads, two legends that have been in the trenches since day one. And man, they're rocking and rolling. They're doing the best they can. They're great leaders. And man, great traders, great founders, whatever you want to call it, man, they are that. So, hey, without further ado, I'm going to bring up Mr. GuuGod and Khaos. Kris, man, what's going on?
Let's go.
Yes, sir. What is up? Man, I'm excited to be on this live stream, guys. And dude, please do me a favor. Follow Block, follow GuuGod, follow me if you're slightly autistic and you like those meme coins and altcoins. This is going to be a killer live stream. Share this out, guys. We'll get some energy in this. What's up, Block?
Yo, hey, man.
Oh,
Just got back from a little jog, and I'm amped, man, ready to go. What, tomorrow's August 1st, and you know what that means, baby. So let's everybody needs to be locked in and ready for what's to come.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, August coming around. Little sketched out by the blood moon in September, but in my opinion, we might have a great August, man. So there's always opportunities to degen. There's always ways you can get into the trenches. But big thing is you got to stay focused. No drinking, no alcohol, and, you know, don't sleep with any chicks or whatever. Save that shit for 2026. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I just threw away the vape, man.
Yeah, bro.
Just doing what I can doing what I can to stabilize myself. Yeah, because it's about to be loud. It's about to be loud. There's a lot of noises. Goo. All right, man. We live in a world where material things are more valuable these days. And I mean, we have Twitter and TikTok for all this information and people trying to get attention and clout. What does legacy mean to you? Because by far, I mean, what you guys are doing transcends clout as it is. You guys are really building something. But what does legacy really mean to you?
well, really for me, building legacy was really just my thought process of how I think, like, you know, when I launch projects or, you know, when I get on a team or something like that. I want something that everybody could make gains on. I want something where everybody could win. And I want to have that happen over and over and over again, right? So that's what I mean when I say, you know, we're building legacy, right? Because that's what it is, right? We don't build projects or anything like that, or we don't make calls or anything like that so we could dump on people, right? And you could see that in all of our charts. Every time we make a call on something, it goes up and up and up and up. You see other guys, they make a call on something, it dumps right after, right? So that's not what we do, bro. We're building legacies so that everybody could win, right? Because Kris has done very well in this space. I have done very well in this space. And we both can tell you it sucks when it's just us at the top and we're like, yay, hey. And it's like, bro, I'm tired of looking at you. And it's like, bro, I'm tired of looking at you too. So it's like, all right, we need to bring the masses with us, bro. How do we do this? So we're always contemplating different ways every other day. And we're always talking about different things and stuff. So yeah, really when it comes down to building legacy is that we want to see everybody win, bro.
Okay, so when you're finding these successes in the digital realm of finance, how do you show your family that it's real?
I show them the gains, bro. I mean, Yeah, I give you a good example of that. My wife, right? I've been here doing this for a long time. She don't grasp none of this stuff, right? So every year we have a family reunion at my father's house. And a lot of us are traders and investors and stuff like that. Some of my family are like professional people. So we have like a little game where we will pick a stock or crypto or something like that, and we'll see what happened the next year. So I'll be honest, this year I forgot what I called. I think it was ETH and something else. I forgot. You know what my wife said?
Yeah.
PTGC. She knows nothing about crypto, bro, but she's shilling PTGC. You understand why? Because she sees the numbers, she sees the gains, she's seen what we started as, right? Nobody wanted nothing to do with us when we were shilling this stuff, and they were calling it a scam. Now it's the best thing since sliced bread and Richard Hart, right? So it's like that. You just got to show them the gains, and then that's where it takes off from. Because even in 2022 Thanksgiving, our Bitcoin was about 16K. And I was telling everybody, buy Bitcoin. You gotta buy Bitcoin. You gotta buy Bitcoin. Like I have extreme FOMO right now. I gotta keep buying this thing. You know what they told me? Oh, but didn't it go down? Oh, but isn't it a scam? Because that's the narrative that they were pushing on financial media, right? And I'm like, yo, just trust me when I tell you, buy this thing. Now this year, this thing is 110K, and they're like, okay, should I buy Bitcoin now? And it's like, oh my God, like, come on, bros, you understand? So they see it, and that's how I showed. I showed them because when I started this, I said, all right, I want to make other people gains. I want to make other people create wealth. I want to help people better their lives, but I have to start with myself. And I don't even like to use this word anymore, but I'm going to use it. I have to make myself my first success story, right? And I don't even like to use the word success anymore. I have to be very clear on that. But and I haven't found a good substitute for it yet. Maybe Kris could help me with that. But yeah, I figured I'd make myself, my first success story. And then from there, we start branching out. And I was able to do that. Was I able to meet my goal, but I was able to do it in a fraction of the time than I thought I would. So I was like, all right, yeah.
And just to add to that block, GuuGod, when he was talking about putting himself first and kind of like leading the path, leadership isn't about sitting there and micromanaging and dictating someone's every single actions. Leadership is where you lead by example. So if you go down this path, you basically pave the way for others to follow, and you show them that this is possible. You can do it the right way, and if they're wise, you can learn from every little mistakes. That's how leaders function. And in my opinion, GuuGod is exhibiting a great example of being a leader.
Well, you guys have shown a lot of small successes, or not small successes, but to you it may be small because it was a little gamble here and there. But you guys have accumulated a lot of wins under your belt. And in the trenches, people don't really have a lot of patience. How do you remind yourself to take those little victories on the way to the jackpot?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's an end goal to all this. And if you ask any talented trader, they all have a motivation when they're in the trenches trading cryptos, and most of them believe that this is their way out of the rat race. This is their way out of the matrix. This gives them the potential to one day have financial freedom so that they can go and do political stuff, start their own business, whatever that is. So with these little wins along the road, how I see it is you're building a brick house, you're putting a brick here, you're putting little cement and binding it together, and you're building this house up, because in the end, once you build that house, that's going to be the foundation for the rest of your life. And I think crypto is going to set a lot of people up really, really well if they continue to go down this path and do the right thing.
Goo?
Shit, that was well said, bro. I can't even really follow that up, man. Yeah, Kris kind of got me in all with that one.
Cat got your tongue? Sat cat got your tongue?
See, when you said "Sat Cat got my tongue," let's go.
Okay, so me and Liddyverse were talking last week, and we were talking about how our backgrounds help us prepare for the ambition and the drive that it takes to run a business. Now, these digital businesses that we're entering to is it's unscathed territory, but people see people like you and people see you two guys, and they think, oh well, they can do it. Well, I can do it too. So being a leader definitely definitely carries its weight. But being a leader is a full-time job. I mean, running communities, running tokens, managing funds, being a good trader. How do you guys balance the life of a prominent figure like that? Because you guys are trading meme coins on Pulse, Ethereum. I mean, I even heard GuuGod was a Solana maxi. So I mean, you guys
Never,
are
bro. Never, bro. Stop listening to Chaos Kris with his shenanigans, bro. Unbelievable, man.
But you
But
guys
yeah,
do it all, even like stocks too. And you guys are killing it in the stocks. In the few stocks that I followed you guys, I mean, I'm up, and that's in my Roth IRA. That's not even in my DGen wallet. So I mean, hey, man, I'm getting gains in my Roth thanks to you guys.
I love TradFi, bro. When you become a good DGen and you become good at crypto, trading TradFi, bro, it's like, oh man, it's like free money, bro. But I mean, to answer your question, to be fully transparent and to be 100% honest with you, it comes to us very naturally because it's in our coded. It's who we were meant to be. It's who we were made to be. I tried to run away from it for a long time. I hate being put in leadership roles. I hate being put in leadership positions. Guess what? Every single job that I have, within 90 days, I'm in a leadership position. And when I was in construction business, I was the foreman, I was the super, I was all kind of leadership positions that you could have. And I started running from that. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Can I go somewhere and just hold a flag? Right? Can I just go somewhere and just like slide through the cracks? And no, when I try to do that, things don't work out for me. So when I embrace the leadership role and I embrace the leadership position, that's when good things happen for me. And I mean, it has always come very naturally to me anyway, because I'll get in a group setting and I'll see a whole bunch of things being done wrong. And if I know the right way how to do it, it's my obligation to teach everybody else, listen, this is the other option. This may be better. Right. And if they take to it, they take to it. If they don't, then I have to separate myself because they're going to do something stupid that I want to be a part nothing of. Right. So, yeah, all in all, it comes very natural, bro.
Yeah, when you have that power, you don't have to force it. And I think some of us, we in the trenches, we try to force certain plays, or we try to force the time. We're trying to maximize and make the most out of every second that we have. And sometimes we just need to let things play out naturally. So yeah, that's a very good, really good point of view. Kris, you got something?
Yeah. So, something I just wanted to add to that. GuuGod gave a great explanation about how to approach this market, because people do it in such extremely shady ways. And just in my actually, wait, what was the question again? Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought.
The question was, damn.
So basically, what he was asking was, how do you deal with leadership? How do you deal with being a leader? How do you deal with the challenges of?
The question was, how do you balance being a good leader and a good trader?
Okay, yeah, gotcha. So,
Oh shit! So I didn't even answer the question properly.
No,
then.
but it's all cohesive. It's all cohesive. We're good.
Well, the thing was, GuuGod had me lost in thought, because like when he says stuff, it just like in my mind, I just record things and store things away. I got a weird ass mind. But long story short, when it comes to balancing all of these things out, it comes down to being goal oriented, like what's your end goal, but also there's actually this one story I want to tell you guys that will answer this question. So when I first got into crypto, I hit big on Hex, and I got a good decent sized bag, and I basically gave it to my grandma so that she can live the rest of her life and not have to worry about money and stuff. And I'm like, all right, back to zero. It is what it is. So I went on and started degening, learned a lot of meme coins, learned how to trade and all that stuff. And I got into PTGC at like a 32K market cap. And I was just sitting there chilling, being a degen, live streaming about it. Next thing you know, this thing goes from 32K, shoots up to 1 mil, drops down to 500K, shoots up to 10 mil, drops down to like 3 mil, shoots all the way up to, what was it, 300 million. And I'm sitting there looking at this thing. I was like, I was in shock. And the thing that really hit me about this hit was when someone came on live stream and said, Kris, I named my firstborn son after you. His name is Kris, Kris. And that's when it set in. I was like, yo, this is like a little bit of like this. There's a bigger picture here. And that's when I realized that if you lead by example, the right people will follow you and they will win in the end. So based off of that, when you're trying to balance everything, I think at the end of the day, it's all about who you bring up with you. And you might not be able to, it's better for you to spend more time focusing on the people around you and make sure that they're good because you have a really great tight core. Then they can go out and find gems and plays and you don't have to focus on every single blockchain rather than spending all this time alone, being a lone wolf and being all over the place and wasting all your time. So to answer your question, I think what it really all comes down to is being right around the right people in your close inner circle going into this altcoin season. So sorry, I was all over the place with that.
No, I mean, iron sharpens iron. And yeah, that's very important because yeah, I mean, it's the DeFi trenches can be very unforgiving, bro. You make one bad move and it's game over. So it's very important to stay focused and be around those who are like-minded because we can't do this alone. That's not how life is meant to be.
Yeah, and I know like me and GuuGod, we talk about like the PTGC hit, and that's just one example of many. But people hit up Goo, and he told me stories about how like they were thanking him, saying like, "Hey, thank you so much for this," and then I had other people on Twitter say the same exact thing, and it's just that feeling inside where you're just like, damn, I actually helped out people. Because that changes. I don't care who you are. That changes you if you got a soul. And I know some of you guys don't have souls, but for the people that do have souls, it feels really good. So I just want to add that.
Yeah, bro. I'm not even going to lie. That shit changed my life, bro. When people started hitting me up and showing me pictures of vacations, showing me pictures, bro. Oh, man. One success story. And my bro is watching. I know he is. This bro lived in the hood, in the Bronx on Fordham Road, bro. Now bro lives in a house in Jersey, paying taxes and all that, bro. You understand? And it's just stuff like that, man. And when I see people say, yo, like, I was done, bro. My wife was about to leave me. You saved everything, man. And even just guys that I used to hire, like, yo, here, go raid for me for a month. Like, really, like, here, yeah. They like, yo, bro, my village, they love me now, bro. You know what I mean? And it's like, to change so many people lives and to touch so many people that way. That's why I was like, bro, benevolence is the way. Like, I'm good IRL. You understand? Without crypto, I'm good IRL. So to be able to be in crypto and do that for people, bro, for me, that's where I get off.
I really appreciate you guys for coming on because that's what this show is meant to be for. It's meant to shield the person behind the chart. I'm not trying to shield the tokens. I want to shield the people. People need to hear these things. People need to see these things, and people are afraid to speak up on the hardships and what it takes to actually be successful. So thank you for offering us two-piece here. And we're shilling the verse and GuuGod here, man. We live, lit, and local. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. And guys, also, guys, share this live stream out. Make sure you follow the homie Blockhead. He's having a huge come up right now. I'm excited to see him win this year. And then next year, I'm telling you right now, you're going to see his ass everywhere. So you might as well follow him right now before he starts going viral.
Let's talk about some post-chain things, man.
Yo, hold on. But don't listen. I want you guys to take heed to what Mr. Chaos Chris just said, because he has only said this to me one other time, and it was a couple years ago about Mr. Brandon Davis. You might have heard of him by now. So yeah, take heed to what that man is saying, bro.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you for those words. Actually, I'm trying to get Brandon Davis on one of these shows one day, so maybe we'll see him soon. What was it like when you guys found that alien tech so early? Because that burst a lot of other plays, and that burst a lot. I mean, a big part of y'all's history, right?
Yeah. So, just going to alien tech, and I want to throw PTGC. I want to throw an Alien, Enki, 808, the burn token, the entire ecosystem, all this together. In the beginning, like me and GuuGod, that's where we met. It was through like the PTGC stuff. And like we were there like day one with PTGC. And when we first shilled this coin, bro, I can't tell you how much hate we got. We got called scammers. We got called grifters. We got called every name in the book. And no one else had the balls to put their face on screen and say, hey, this is a play. So it's basically you and your boy versus like 50,000 people that are hardcore RH maxis, right? And this is before meme coins was like a big culture on Pulse Chain. So, it was just like, it was really nerve-wracking, man. And it was a crazy experience. And in the beginning, it took a lot of push to get this thing out. But then once it went viral and meme coin culture blew up on Pulse Chain, it became one of the most rewarding things I've ever seen.
Yeah, bro. They definitely was calling us scammers, and they kept saying, "Oh, this is the top. This is the top." The top kept topping, and I wanna bring attention to this because I find this hilarious. I see a couple of influencers now saying that they were shilling PTGC at 100K market cap and under 100K market cap. I'm here to tell you that they are lying through their teeth. Okay, nobody was shilling PTGC under a 200K market cap. Me and Kris were out there, and also Viber Finance was out there shilling this hard under 80K, bro. You understand? And then the first time that it got pulled up on the Crypto King show, our friend B Roots and Ian Heinage was at it was probably a little bit over 200K market cap. I think it was maybe like 280K. We were at an all-time high, right? This was back in the day when they used to take $50 super chats so that you could so that they could pull your chart up. So I super chatted them $50 and said, pull up the PTGC chart. Mind you, I already knew that they were in, so they were gonna be cool with pulling up the chart anyway. They just weren't shilling it, right? So yes, the first time it was ever on any stream other than ours was on that one when I super chatted it at like 280K. So all these guys that tell you they were shilling it at 100K and all this is complete lies. And nobody was even supporting it really monetarily neither, because I was market making for that shit all the way up to 500K. And at 500K, I said, all right, that's it. That's done. I burnt a lot of this stuff already. Like, that's it. And it was off to the races after that, bro.
Man, I just want to also add PTGC, I think it went to like a $1 or $2 million market cap. And then it crashed down to like 300, 400K. And there was a period of time when people thought that project was dead. I remember talking to people who are like, yo, this might be it. We blew up. That's it. That's over. And I remember me and Goo, we were talking about this. And there's this point in time when we were like 50-50. And we're just like, you know what? Fuck it, dude. Back up the truck. This is all about legacies. There's something more to this thing. And it basically flipped back over. And once it surpassed a $5 million market cap, you saw all the big Pulse Chain guys come out and say, oh my God, PTGC. And then who was that one really big Pulse Chain maxi that was like shilling it hard? God, I can't remember his name. I think it was like KR or not KR. I can't remember. I can't remember who it was, but long story short, when they picked it up, that's when things started going viral, and then it just took off. So
Was it the tokenomics that made you guys double down like that?
Yeah, it was tokenomics. Well, actually, it was the developer. GuuGod told me one
Oh,
thing.
hey,
He said
was it K4K?
K4K. Yeah, K4K brought it up, and that's how it got really, really viral. And he got a lot of shit for it. But then next thing you know, more of them came out, and then next thing you know, Rackham was LARPing, saying he was the second largest holder, but he's not. So, but
Rackham, I love you, Rackham, but you're not even a top 10 holder, brother.
yeah, if they're listen, I'm gonna make this crystal clear. Anybody who says they're a top 10 holder, I'll call them out on their bullshit, because I know all the wallet holders of the top 10 wallets. So I just want to make that crystal clear. We've been in this in the beginning. So, but what really got me was, Goo told me something. It's a quote that I always repeat in my mind when I look at a project in every chart. Show me the developer, and I'll tell you how the project will do. So it's all about the developer. And TG Zen, who created this project, the guy's smart. If you sit down and talk to him, he will make you bullish in 5 minutes. He's extremely technical. He's a businessman, and he's also a surfer. And I know how surfers are, man. They got that mentality where they're willing to go on a dangerous, deathly wave. And it takes a certain level of autism to do something like that. So I think it translates very, very well into crypto. And so based off of how he was and how he set up this project, my big bet was on him. That's the secret sauce everybody wants to know. It's not some fancy white paper or who's shilling it. It's the person who created it and who's backing up the truck. And that's how you can find these hits a lot easier. So, yeah.
Yeah, TG Zen is an absolute legend, bro. That man has helped me out with so much, and he has taught me so much. I got nothing but good to say about TG Zen. That's for sure. And then that's why when this thing went from 5 mil to like 700K, I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer, bro. Because really from the beginning, what sold me was that we don't need humans to buy in order for it to go up. That's all I needed to know. Because I hate trading with humans. They suck, right? So it was that, and because of TG Zen, bro. Like Kris said, he's a professional, man. And when I was in the business, he would have been a guy that I probably would have been doing work for. He probably would have been subcontracting me and shit like that. So yeah, I like TG Zen. I look up to him, bro. So I'll be in PTGC forever. And even all my onboards, everybody knows this. If they're onboarding whatever amount of capital that they're onboarding, 80% go straight into PTGC and UFO, right? And you could do whatever kind of split you want to do. I always suggest to do like 50-30 and then play with the rest. Because PTGC and UFO, forget about it, bro.
Yeah, the UFO chart looks really good right now. Actually, it's a good buying opportunity.
Yeah.
So
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. What's up?
And I also want to say, I know this isn't like a shill stream, but I just want to make something crystal clear. PTGC, UFO, dominant projects on Pulse Chain. And another big project that we've been talking about in the past was like Pulseum. And that's something that has a lot to do with Zach. Shout out to Zach, guys. Check them out. But in my opinion, that's also another ecosystem that I think all you guys should keep your eyes on. And I'll leave it at that. So
that's the IRS, Blitz, and Hexa, right?
Yeah. It's it basically builds liquidity, but between those tokens and the RH core tokens, and I think it could potentially be another great sub ecosystem with a huge come up.
So how do you guys go about finding these plays? Because once you strike gold with PTGC and UFO, I mean, you guys stayed in the trenches, still looking for good plays, and you created a culture there. How do you go about finding what's safe, what's still worthy? Is it the narrative? Is it the community? Is it the dev? I mean, it's got to be a little bit of all those things, right?
Yeah. I think for me, my process is, GuuGod's more of the people person. So he's really good with talking with people. I'm more of like the autistic, technical nerd that really sits down and looks at charts and stuff. So what I like to do is I like to go across, look at charts that seem like they're bottoming out, Then I'll reach out to Goo, and then Goo will tell me if it's a great idea, if it's just completely stupid. And if he thinks it's a great idea, then typically reach out to the developer, get to know him, and see what type of person he is, and then from there just start shilling it hardcore. So that's usually my process, and yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, my process is kind of the same, but and this is why Kris and I complement each other, because I'm looking for like fundamental shit when Kris is looking for technical stuff, and then I want to see what's the morale, and we just bring it all together, and we can figure out, okay, what are we doing this? Are we trading this? Are we just gonna hold this long term? Like, should we LP this with something? And that's pretty much. But yeah, we bounce off each other a lot, bro.
How does that vary from chain to chain? How do you find value in a chain that might be dead, or where there's not a whole lot of volumes and such?
I think our main focus would probably be like I guess you can say we're ETH maxis to a certain degree. So ETH is like the bread and butter. We always do well. Base, GuuGod absolutely crushed it. Like GuuGod has a gem on base every other day. So anytime he brings up a base play, I just ape and I don't even research. So, but I think what it really comes down to is you got to look at the amount of money on each of the chains. So if you go into somewhere like, I'll say Bear Chain, I like Bear Chain, but there's not much money on there. So if you only got about $100 million on that chain, then the highest for the number one meme coin could be anywhere from 10 to 20 million. Because you got to ask yourself, how much of that money is going to go into that particular coin? Then you go on to something like Ethereum that has hundreds of billions of dollars. It's going to be a lot easier for one of those coins to go to $1 billion market cap. And I'll even have to say the same thing for Solana, but I hate Solana. I'm not a big fan of it. And same with Pulse Chain. So to answer your question, the first thing you got to look at is if you're on this chain, how much money's on there and how real and how high can the top meme coin go? And the second question you got to ask yourself is this project building community? Is the developer great? Stuff that GuuGod was talking about, fundamentals, all that stuff. So yeah.
Goo.
Yo.
How do you go from chain to chain with conviction?
I look for what's bullish. I look so Adam from Viber Finance, he does a lot of research into all this weird shit, right? And he finds shit. So a lot of the time, what I notice in the markets, right, there will be a bullish catalyst, some type of headline or something, but it's something that happened 3 months ago. But then all of a sudden, this asset, it starts pumping, right? So we're in the trenches researching, right, and looking for these type of things, and you say, okay, H bar is doing this, they're bringing these entity into the foundation, and blah blah blah. Okay, this is good stuff. They're probably going to talk about it in the future. It will be wise to come over here now, position yourself in the best ones. At that time, it was like Sauce and some other stuff. And next thing you know, like 2 months later, every single thing that you was in was doing anywhere from 10x to 300x, bro. The stupidest of things too.
What time frame is this?
That happened in like a 2-month span. And I would say this was in 23, if I'm not mistaken. 23, 24, something like that. Well, really, the bear was for me just 2022, and the bear was only for like the big shit. I was doing well in meme coins, and I was doing well with Tau. That's when Tau first came out. So Tau and Ator is called Anyone now. But yeah, I was killing it with them. So I did well in the bear market, and I was able to accumulate a lot of ETH. But that's a different story, yeah. But yeah, all these other chains, bro, I just look for what they got bullish fundamentally, and I go. Kris had put me onto the Blast stuff. Like you could bridge your ETH, your stable coins over to Blast and just hold it there and earn a yield. So I did that. I had a good amount of ETH. I bridged it over there, And sure enough, I was getting ETH reflections, bro. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. And then the next thing you know, the volume dried up. Everybody left. Pac-Man went silent. And it was like, ah, man, damn, it's over. So now I got to
Oh,
bridge
man.
back, right? But that it's just stuff like that, right? You find the news, you find something good fundamentally with these side chains and all that shit. That's something that could be potentially talked about in the future by like big influencers and stuff like that. Or something you could even make a catalyst yourself. You could be like, hey guys, look what I found. And you could be the one that brings the adoption. Because, bro, Hedera, perfect example. Nobody was talking about that shit before us. We all came out and started shilling everything all at once, dumb hard. That shit started running. So it was like, okay, all right. So you could be the reason why I pumped too. And it's not like I have some crazy big following. I got 6,000 followers. At that time, I had probably less than 5,000. So it's like, yeah, bro, you can make shit happen yourself too.
Okay, so I have friends and family that are watching as well, and they want to ask me about the Trump coin. They want to ask me about Solana. Can you give your point of view on why Ethereum and Pulse Chain is totally different than the bullshit that we see on Solana?
Listen, I'm just going to tell you straight up right now what Solana is. Solana is a penny slot casino. That's all it is. If you like to gamble and you like penny slots and you think that you're going to get rich playing penny slots, then go right ahead and gamble on the Solana meme coins. You understand? But keep in mind the penny slot casino. You understand? That's the casino that you go to where all the retired strippers and all the retired biker babes, you understand? That's where they hang out smoking cigarettes, talking about, hey, baby, want a good time? That's what Solana is.
Oh man, I
mean,
love that analogy.
I have one more than I've lost on Solana, but that yeah, that was ridiculous. A bunch of retardation on that chain.
And you gotta remember, when the SBF stuff went down, everybody says Solana was dead. The best time to buy Solana was at $7, and I think shot up to was like $200 or $300. So in my opinion, what they're trying to do is generate a lot of liquidity on the chain through like Pump Fund and was it the Bunk platform or whatnot, where they're launching tokens. And then I firmly believe after this market, you're going to see Solana get hit real hard. So to me, it's like a VC X liquidity pump, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like why isn't Sol popping the way BTC and ETH are right now? It's really weird.
Yeah,
like,
and go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just not very unattractive.
And you got to remember, the biggest selling point was something like Pulse Chain specifically. There's no VC funds. It was all developed by Richard Hart and his team. So this is like the one blockchain where you have the potential and you don't have any like crazy insiders dumping the main L1 token. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about dilution. It's a strong community, and don't get me wrong. Like there's a lot of people on Pulse Chain that do not like me, and I had a lot of beefs on Pulse Chain, but I do respect the community. I do respect the Colts, and that's what's going to be the biggest marketing team when we see altcoin season pop off. So I think Pulse Chain is going to be where you can potentially hit it big compared to Solana.
How did you guys find Hex and Pulse Chain? How did that come about?
So for me, I was in grad school and I saw this crypto stuff because I was basically studying being an engineer, and I had my own little like laboratory, and I would just sit there and do research all day. And I basically came across the Bitcoin white paper and started reading. I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And then when I started researching Bitcoin, next thing you know, I see a YouTube video of Richard Hart wearing all these like Gucci loafers and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? So I started watching his videos, and for some reason, every time I listen to him, I feel like a lot smarter. And so he's like, yeah, I got this coin called Hex. And I looked at it and I was like, dang, that sounds like some witchcraft. I'm definitely in. Let's buy some. It is what it is. So I had this decision where I didn't have much money because keep in mind, master students, you don't really get paid that much. So I had to make the decision between just taking like $50 and buying a bunch of protein bars and eat protein bars for 2 weeks straight and put some money into a hex, or just have some money just for food. And I chose the protein bars route. And ever since then, man, never looked back, and couldn't be more happier.
Yo, bro, so how many X's you did on the protein bars?
A lot, bro.
Let's go.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, bro. My system was so out of whack, bro. It was crazy, but hey, it is what it is.
Okay, let's talk about that. The trenches can be very demanding, and especially when you're researching and there's stuff going on and it's based on different time zones. We know when China wakes up, it's a good pump time. We know when Europe wakes up, it's a different pump time. How do you guys take care of y'all's physical and mental health in the trenches? Because I know I see GuuGod sometimes leave messages at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I mean I realized we were doing that this time last year. So yeah, like it's definitely bull run-esque. It's definitely a time where we don't get a whole lot of sleep, and we've seen what the lack of sleep can do to certain individuals. How do you guys maintain just a healthy level of stability?
Well, I mean, myself, I sleep about 4 hours, right, in the nighttime. Because you figure, look, at agent session already started. So you figure for the next 4 hours, 5 hours, it's gonna be doing something. But then, kind of like how you have like the 10 o'clock rule in the stock market, like that's what they call it. You say by 10 o'clock, everything has pretty much done what it's going to do for the day. So you can kind of go about your business, right? It's kind of the same way with the Asian market. So you figure pretty much by 11, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, pretty much everything that was going to happen happens, right? Now, you figure by like 3, 4 a.m., those markets are closing. You want to see what's going on. You understand? So, and then that starts to just bring you right into the European session, right into the American session. And yeah, I mean, when you're a trader and you're here and this is what you're doing, you gotta be locked in. And yes, you need sleep. You understand? I fall asleep during the day all the time. I take little naps all the time. You know, um, I'm not active many hours of the day. Kind of when I get bored or when I feel that I have to be active, I get active. But yeah, no, I'm up. I'm trading. I'm doing my thing. I do a lot of stuff in TradFi, and I trade futures and stuff like that too. I do leverage trading, so like I'm all over the place.
Kris, what do you do, man? How do you what do you do for your mental and physical health?
Yeah, so I'm kind of on the same sleep schedule as GuuGod. Try to do 4 to 6 a night. I think you can do really well in 6. Sometimes, like if you start gassing out hardcore, you might want to get a solid 8 to 10 every now and then. But for me, I like going to the gym. Like if I go to the gym and then come back and take a step away, my mind can focus. And what I do on my phone is I just set up wallets on like Pulse, Base, SWE, and just have some money on the side to clip in just in case something were to go moon and do its thing. So basically I could still be at the gym and work out and get a little bit of a break and then just chill. So that's my main like escape from crypto. And then sometimes when I'm, just trading, because I enjoy trading. I love staring at charts all day. I know it sounds very psychotic, but I truly get a lot of energy from it. Sometimes when I start buying dumb stuff or I start like just being all messy and sloppy, I'll just go straight to the beach and start surfing. That's like my little reset button. That's when I know I need to kind of just step away. So those are my 2 escapes: going to the gym and surfing.
Goo, when do you feel the need to step away? When do you take that time away from the charts? Because yeah, I mean we're locked in, bro. At tops,
You always see me get silent. I tell people how I feel about the certain situation, and I go dead silent. And that's when I'm in the beach. That's when I'm at the pool. That's when I'm at the barbecues. That's when I'm at the movie theater. That's when I'm at some kid's birthday party. And yeah, bro, it's always the tops. I go silent and I take time for me and I take time for my family and we just do whatever we want to do, bro.
How do you guys learn to take your emotions out of the trading? Because winning can be very exciting and losing can be very gruesome. How do you guys? Because I know Goo, you told me the other day, or we had talked last month, and you had said you like to inverse trade your emotions, especially like when you feel FOMO and stuff like that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that has been my success trading wise is inverse trading. Well, really I can't say trading wise, it's pretty probably more investing wise, really. Um so I inverse trade the consensus. Whatever 90% or 80% of people are saying or feeling or talking about, I will do the opposite. Whatever financial media, whatever narrative that they are pushing, I do the opposite. And even looking at charts, right? If you look at red and green charts all day long, you're never going to get away from those emotions because you're taught from, elementary school or pre-K, whatever, that red means stop, right? Stop your losses. Stop. You got to get out of there, right? Green means go, 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 deploy capital. Damn, why I ain't buy more of this? Let me put more of it in it now, right? So if you look at red and green all day long, it's going to mess with you emotionally. It's going to mess with you mentally. So your job as a trader and an investor is to recognize that emotion and then inverse trade it. But you have to be selective on the assets that you do that with as well. You can't just do it on a complete, shitter. And you got to be doing this with the good assets. So yeah, when I see deep red, I get FOMO. That's when I get FOMO, bro. And then when I see that high green, it's like, damn, all right. You start getting that emotion, like, oh, damn, all right, it's gonna go higher, bro. You know what I mean? Or, should I put some more into this now? You know what? Let me take a screenshot, right? And I love it when I take screenshots because this is a rule that I live by no matter what. As soon as you take the screenshot, the triple S rule goes into effect. Okay. So you screenshot, you sell some, right? And then you show it off. And that's just how I win, bro.
How do you guys practice patience, or what practices have made you acquire patience?
I think for me, it's usually the hobbies outside of crypto where you learn a lot. So I think everybody needs to have some sort of hobby, whether it's going to the gym, playing soccer, or surfing, because with those types of sports, it takes patience to be really good at them. You're not going to walk into a jujitsu gym and pin Conor McGregor. No, you're going to get your ass kicked the first couple times, but you got to keep showing up and you got to be perseverance and you got to put in the work. And so it's the same thing with crypto. We know a lot of these coins are going to do really, really well. You can look at the fundamentals, you can tell by the marketing team, you can tell by the developer. The question is, will you take the action to clip in and will you sit on your hands and just relax? Because there's going to come a time where those high conviction plays are going to be exploding and you do not want to get in the way of making your bag. So in my opinion, patience come from not only hobbies, but the stuff you do in this space and also in your personal job and your personal life. So I think a lot of this comes from what you do outside of crypto.
Goo, how do you acquire patience?
By seeing shit run up without me. And it was like, nah, bro, y'all ain't doing that again, right? And I come from that sheep where, well, sheep is what brought me into DeFi and what got me to finally buy Ethereum because my brother introduced me to Bitcoin in 2011. It was like, I think like $13 or something like that. And I told him it was a scam. And he was like, yeah, no, just put like $100 into it. And I was like, no, bro, it's a scam. Like, I'm not buying that. Like, and he was very adamant about it. It got to the point where like I flipped on him and it was like, yo, that is a scam. Like, stop already. Right. And then you see it now, it's 120K. And you're like, well, 116K now, but you're like, damn, bro, why ain't buy $100 worth at $13? Right. And I got a bunch of stories like that, bro. I got TradFi stories like that. You know, I bought Robinhood at like $5. I sold it at $15. It's $110 now. You know what I mean? It's just I got a few stories like that, dude. Palantir, I bought it at 15, sold it at 18 and 28, and it's 160 now. So yeah, you start to see that stuff, right? And that's where you're like, okay, when you get into something that's good, something that is quality, hold it for 3 to 5 years. That's what you tell yourself. Okay, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna hold this, right? Is it worth for me holding for 3 to 5 years, right? If it is, then you gotta just hold it, bro, and buy the dips, right? But yeah, that's what really taught me patience, was just seeing stuff go up so hard. And like I was saying about Sheeb earlier, if you would have put $1 in Sheeb at one point, a year later, you would have had $1 million. So when I first got into DeFi and I first started buying Ethereum, I said, okay, we could buy all these meme coins, right? Saitama and Shinja and all of these things we were buying. And Saitama is the perfect example, right? We all bought Saitama. There wasn't one person that I didn't know that didn't have at least 6 figures in Saitama from putting pretty much nothing in it. But everybody saw what happened with Sheep, right? Hold it for a year. It's gonna go to bazillions of dollars, right? And so that's what just the mindset was. And I still have that mindset, right? A lot of the stuff that I buy or even that I create, I won't sell it. Like, no, this thing could go to billions. Like, everything used to go to billions, bro. Everything. Like, it was easy, right? Cheddar, all kinds of stupid stuff used to go to billions. Now things don't even go to 100 million no more. But I still feel that we're gonna have some blow off top and everything is gonna go to millions, bro. So I have faith in a lot of stuff. But yeah, basically that's what basically taught me my patience, was just seeing all of that stuff happen.
So we've talked about how we handle the leadership position. We've talked about how we handle early alpha. We've talked about how we handle good wins. But how do you handle a loss? Let's say a trade doesn't go your way, or you feel really convicted and you go heavy on something and it goes south. How do you handle that?
So for me, every morning I wake up, I look at myself in the mirror and I blame every single problem on myself. Why do I not have the car I want? It's my fault. Why am I skipping, taking time off from the gym? It's my fault. Why do I miss these trades? It's my fault. Why do I do all this stupid stuff? It's my fault. And I think what it really comes down to with losses, the first thing is accountability. Recognize why you lost and where you went wrong. And once you acknowledge and start taking accountability for your actions, then there's something where you can learn. And here's the thing I love about words, man, because there's a lot of hidden meanings. Because if you look at the word learn, you got earn in the middle of it, right? So in order to earn, you got to learn from your mistakes. But here's another one thing, Block. If you look at earn, you got ear, listen. So in order to earn, you must learn. In order to learn, you got to use your ears. And there's a reason why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So the main point I'm trying to say is how you handle your losses. It comes down to number 1, accountability, and number 2, learning. Because at the end of the day, you're always going to mess up. You're always going to make a mistake. And the best people, not only in this space, but just in business in general, they always learn from their mistakes and they build on top of it. And that's why they win.
Yeah, bro. Every loss is a lesson. And that's it. You can't even really count it as a loss. You got to count it as tuition. When I first came into DeFi, bro, 2021, I lost 61 or 68. I can't remember. It was one of those two numbers, but let's just say $60,000 in 30 days. Gone, wiped out. See ya. Shoo. And that had me messed up, like mentally. I was like, oh my God, should I just be buying Bitcoin? Because that was the original plan anyway. What am I doing, bro? And I was like, nah, you know what? It's a lesson. Every loss is a lesson. Chalk it up as tuition, because I ain't never been to no college, no none of that stuff. And I live a lot better than a lot of those people who have. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna chalk it up as tuition. I owe this to the game. And okay, what did I do wrong? Now let's start doing the opposite of that. And yeah, I learn quick, so I pick up stuff very fast.
Fellas, I really appreciate the time that you've given. What other advice could you give to the degens with no direction, the people in the trenches that are looking and like, oh man, I got to follow these guys. I want to learn how to trade. What advice can you give to the degens and the newcomers?
So my biggest piece of advice: don't give up. When you get into this stuff, you're gonna take a couple on the chin, just like every new fighter when they step in the ring. You got to take a few haymakers, you got to get your ass kicked a couple times. But the ones who continue to show up, never give up, never give a fuck about what anyone else says, and continue to put in that work, always persevere and always win. So the big thing I just want to say is, number one, anything you do, go at it 100%. And then number two, you got to crave knowledge. If there's something interesting that you see, learn about it. My favorite thing is TA. If you see guys putting up stuff on charts, learn the patterns, look at moving averages, or learn how to do blockchain analytics. There's always something new you can learn in this space. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it starts with perseverance. And then number two, a crave for knowledge.
Great knowledge. Awesome.
Yeah. For me, and this is not just for trading and investing or anything like that. This is for everything or anything that you want to be good at in life. Have good karma. Be a good person. Be a genuinely good person. You understand? Be selfless. Help others, right? And you'll be surprised, like, think happy thoughts and it becomes your reality. You'll be surprised how powerful that is. And just respect people, respect their money, respect the charts, respect everything that you can, and just have good karma, really. Because when people ask me what's the trick, what did you do, and my biggest and best advice I can give to anybody every single time: just have good karma, bro. Try to live your life like a monk. Try to. I know it's very difficult, but it's possible. The worst things I probably do is say bad words and smoke cigarettes, and that's the God's honest truth. So, and it took me a very long time to get there. Trust me when I tell you that. But it's possible, and everything will fall into place. All you have to do is be a good person and have good karma. That's it.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you, guys. Y'all got YouTube channels. You guys are Verse. You want to put your YouTube channel in the comments?
Yeah, it's at the Verse, and I'll drop down below so you guys can check it out. And also, guys, please do me a favor, follow the boy Blockhead, put in that work, all that good stuff. And hey, this is a great live stream, man. There's so much great information. I think, man, this is a great one. This is one there's always, like, when you live stream for a minute, you always have like a top 5 that you remember. I think this is going to be one of them, man. So yeah, thanks for having me on, man, and really means a lot.
Yeah, man, it's likewise. It means a lot to have you guys on. You guys are the OGs, and for somebody up and coming like me, I'm just doing this to give y'all a platform to speak, man. I'm not here for the clout. I'm not here to take money from people or divert attention. But certain things that, especially like what you guys have presented today in the stream, man, people really need to hear it. And I know a lot of people are antsy and they're weary going into this bull run. So thank you guys for the genuine advice that you've offered on the stream today. I gotta ask you though. Tomorrow's August 1st, and we had the FOMC meeting yesterday, and the rates didn't change. What metrics are you guys looking at over the course of the next couple of weeks to really to further your research?
Me, bro, I trade around moon cycles. Everything else is noise to me. Show me the moon, I'll tell you what we're doing. That's it.
But that
So
blood moon in September, do you guys have any notions on the solar eclipse that we're supposed to have on Saturday?
I don't think does that affect the markets in any way, Kris?
I need to look into it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not totally sure. But,
shit, we'll see on Saturday then.
Yeah, wow. Watch there be something crazy. I don't want to listen to anything because I don't want to get banned. But dang, that's crazy. Yeah. But I think to answer. Sorry, what was the question again? I completely forgot.
What metrics are you monitoring in the month of August as we're hopefully entering a bull run?
Probably the liquidity, the M2 money supply. So the reason why Bitcoin is going up really hardcore is because the amount of dollars that governments are creating across the globe is just increasing. So that's the one thing. That's the number one thing I'm monitoring. And then, the second thing I'm also looking at is the ETH BTC ratio. So how this works is when you start to see that ETH is going up versus BTC, that's because whales are converting their Bitcoin into Ethereum, and that's one of the most liquid trading pairs in all of crypto. So if that starts shooting up, that means whales are bidding for altcoins and stuff. So the next question is, where are they bidding? And in my opinion, it's going to be those crazy meme coins that the maxis hate. So at the end of the day, that's where I'll be positioning.
I kind of wanted to talk more about Pulse, but we've talked about so many great things. Aren't you guys pretty excited that Pulse is like breaking out of his downtrend and we're actually seeing green candles? I mean, it's very refreshing. I'm really happy for everybody on Pulse Chain right now.
I'm loving Pulse Chain. I'm not gonna lie, but bro, I have so much ETH FOMO right now, and it's probably because of all the content that I consume. Oh man, I saw Joe Lubin go on what's the name of that show? I forget. He went on financial media, national television, and told everybody, listen, Ethereum is gonna flip Bitcoin. It might take a few years or whatever. And he wasn't talking about dollar-wise, he was talking about ratio-wise. And I looked at the amount of Ethereum that I have, and I said, imagine if that happens, bro. Like,
what are you saying? 30K ETH? 60K ETH?
So now I'm saying to myself, like, for every one Ethereum that I have, that's equivalent to having a Bitcoin right now. Right? So I have serious ETH FOMO, bro. My conviction in Pulse Chain goes nowhere. All my number one bags is in Pulse Chain. People consider me a Pulse Chain maxi. Most of my followers and friends are from Pulse Chain. Even from back in the day when I first started getting popular from the Cult DAO community, a lot of those guys were Hexicans, and those were the guys who originally got me into Pulse Chain. So, Pulse Chain it is very exciting right now.
You heard it here first, man. Buy Solana, GuuGod Solana Maxine.
Oh God, man, I gotta go.
I will say one thing: if GuuGod ever buys Solana, I'm selling everything. I don't even care if we didn't even have altcoin season. The minute that man buys Solana, I'm fucking out. It's over. That's it. I'm done.
Damn, you know what I was gonna do too, and this is a true story. This is the truth, 100%. When I'm gonna tell ya, okay. I was gonna buy one Solana, send it to a Phantom wallet, and tell Kris, hey, listen, I got this one Solana here. I bet you I could flip this into like 1050 Solana, and I'm only gonna do it on certain little selective plays, 2x, and I'm out. Watch. And I was gonna send him this message after the stream to see what he says. Now I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it, bro.
I'm just messing with you, man. Look, man, we're creeping up over an hour. Guys, thank you so much. This was a very fun stream.
Yeah, man. And hey, thanks for having us on, man. And hopefully we do it again. And just gotta say one thing. Shout out to the trenches. Fuck the Maxis.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, you guys are going to be on the Mo stream again tonight, right?
Yeah, a couple hours, 2 hours.
Yes, sir. You can catch these guys on Genuine Mo. They stream every Thursday night. You can find GuuGod on X, on Telegram. It's GuuGod777, and Khaos Kris is the verse 369. So, hey, man, thank you guys. Hey, we got some great times ahead. So, yeah, I definitely want to get you guys back on later on whenever we can share some wins together. And yeah, thank you for giving the trenches what they need.
Anytime, bro. We here, bro. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Any closing notes?
No, man. I think you covered it all. Just like I said, support all the homies. Follow GuuGod, follow Block, and follow me at the verse 369. And let's have a great bull run.
Yes, sir. Goo.
Check out King is pumping without human bias. That's what I always wanted. All the weak hands are shaking out. So now I'm probably going to be shilling it like somebody got a gun to my head. Let's go.
Let's go, King, baby. Yeah. All right, man. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Peace.
Hey, episode 9, baby. On-Chain Legacy with GuuGod and Kris. Keep an eye out for the next couple of guests. I got some good stuff coming. Y'all stay tuned. And yeah, bull run, baby. Let's rock and roll. Live, lit, and local, going global. You're here.
Yeah, from the block to the blockchain. I yield farm and I mean trade. On Pulse chain, I just DCA the block for the DeFi. Shout out to the whole gang. From the block to the blockchain. I yield farm and I mean trade. On Pulse chain, I just DCA the block for the DeFi. Shout out to the whole